Alright, this is going to be the settings. Alright, here we go. We are in Oceania. The only reason I'm doing Oceania right now is because I didn't want to do the same thing back to back as a preview for the next video. Basically the same map as the other one. So we're obviously going to start here in Oceania. I always try to avoid Oceania in everything I do. That's bad. I try to avoid Oceania in literally everything I do. But this one I can make an exception. Is Sydney there? Yeah, it's basically somewhere in this general vicinity. Now, I'm not going to worry about placing down capitals, because this one is basically just a throwaway. But we will make the best Oceanian civilization of all time. So we got to keep going with Sydney here. They're going to largely expand, try expanding around the mountains. Why is all of like the major cities in Sydney, in Australia, in this area with all these mountains? A bit weird. I mean, there's some major cities here, but like mainly every city that people know is here. You got some here, and then you got like one over here. So, you know, they're just gonna follow the mountains and get this one little pixel that I want them to get. Thank you, appreciate that. And they're gonna keep going up here. You know what I mean? I mean, look at them. They already got a nice little coastal empire. Let's hope that we get like a new nation anytime now. They can expand across those hills. Those are not hard to traverse. New leader, that's not what I wanted. Medium expansion. Okay. They're gonna get around to all of Australia at this rate before, you know, we get a new nation. Found religion. They can be Protestant. Are they Protestant? Who knows? But they are now. New leader. Got it. Small expansion. Large expansion now. Ooh, very adventurous, huh? At this rate, I'm going to give them Tasmania, too. Like, small patches of colonies there. But, you know, they get all of Tasmania, because who else is going to climb this, right? They're going to stop their journey of adventuring around Australia and claim as much flatland as they can. Because, you know, why not? And they have a pretty nice looking empire, you know? I mean, who wants to live in the mountains, right? Oh, yay. As a ode to my favorite Australian wrestler, Adelaide will become independent here. They're gonna get this much. And no, actually I need to fix that. So they get that much. I'll let you speculate who my favorite wrestler from Adelaide is. I'll let you speculate. It's not the answer you think it is. That's for sure. Okay, and yes, they're gonna adopt the only religion on the map. Okay, thank you, appreciate that. Adelaide. Cool, that was a nice turn, huh? Nice waste of a turn. Love that. Alright. I don't know why this map is running worse than the Britain map, but you know. Adelaide's looking pretty nice there. We got red and green, these colors scientifically don't go together, but they do now. All right, look at that. And we are just going to stick to Australia, and then we'll get to everyone else later. If we even get to that point. You know what? As an ode to my favorite Australian wrestling pay-per-view, we get Perth. And I say my favorite Australian wrestling pay-per-view because they've only done like one here, I believe. So, you know. Okay, cool, Sydney gets a new leader, but Perth gets to expand. So yeah, we got like 3 empires here. And they're pretty nice. Sydney will continue going around. Yeah, this one will have like no markers placed down, because I just have such a hatred for Oceania whenever it comes to anything to do with a map. And here's why. When I was trying, you know, the other battle royales that I don't like doing, so I never do them anymore, you know those ones? It's basically impossible to do in MS Paint in the way that I like, because it's just a bunch of islands, man. It's just a bunch of fucking islands. Like, there's only like a few borders I can erase, and it's actually, there is no border that I can erase. It's just, I have to color in islands, and you would think that's easier, but that's just so boring. It's so boring, and I don't know the names of any of the islands. They're so damn small, and it's just basically a bunch of circles: Australia, New Zealand, and Papua New Guinea. That's basically it. Like, so, you know, I hate basically everything to do with that aspect of it. The people from here is a different question. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, Sydney will expand a little bit more. They already completed their little journey here, but they will go down there a little bit to get that last white pixel. And they're going to start colonizing this area as well. Look at that. They got a nice little empire. Maybe eventually they'll get the mountains as stuff becomes unavailable to them. Or harder to get, because, you know, the further away you expand, the more money it's going to take. Union? No. I want to keep Adelaide. Perth, they're going to largely expand. And they're going to make their border a little thicker. Are they? They're flatlanders, okay. New nation. You know what? Fine, we'll get something other than Australia. I was definitely about to make another Australian one. We get Wellington. They're going to go for all the North Island. Minus this, to ignore that. Perth is going to continue expanding north. And that's as far as they're going to go north for now. Wellington is going to continue trying to claim the rest of this island. They are mountaineers, which is not helpful, but it will be when we get to the smaller island if it stays that way. So you know. Perth is going to continue expanding. They're not going to go any more into this desert, like at a huge extent. They're only going to get some tiles because of accidentally giving them that, but you know. And Adelaide is going to just expand like that a little bit. They look like a little alligator or something. Sydney will continue getting like this northern area, encircling that, hopefully. Small expansion for Adelaide. Perth will do this. You know, I don't hate this map so far. And by this map, I don't mean Oceania as a whole. I mean the countries on this map. I don't hate the borders they have. You know what I mean? Borders are not that bad. At least there is borders. Small expansion. And they get the rest of the North Island. So now they're going to start pushing into the South Island to colonize that as well. Who doesn't like colonizing? They definitely love it. That's why they're trying it. Okay, they don't want to be Protestant anymore. They said Adelaide made it not cool, so they're going to be Catholic. We're not going to call it Catholicism, because that's too much type. Wellington is also going to found a religion. They're going to be Orthodox. Alright, what next? Wellington. Okay. Look at this. They're in their habitat now. Perth is going to get this last little bit of flatland. And they have pretty much encircled this outback desert. This section of the outback. Because the outback is here. I don't really think the outback is over here, right? You know what I mean? I might be wrong. Maybe the outback does extend a little bit east. Perth will continue to encircle this, though. This is about the area that the EMUs won the war, I believe. It might be in this general vicinity. Perth will continue. Wellington now is going to adopt a religion. I want them to stay Orthodox. Just why not, right? Alright, cool. Now, let's continue expanding them here, Perth. They're looking pretty decent. They got a nice empire. They got a new leader, and now they're flatlanders still, so that's cool. Medium expansion for Wellington. Okay, cool. They ran out so fast. Perth is going to adopt a religion. What's the closest one to them? Protestantism. Look at that. Yellow expands across the map, and now they're going to get more of the flatland around this. And Adelaide is going to get more coast. And they, you know, Adelaide looks pretty nice. You know what I mean? Sydney, the whole is pissing me off, but, you know, they'll get that eventually, maybe. Perth is just getting the flatlands. I do have an idea that I want to do for this, if I ever get another new nation. Which, at this rate, have you seen the Britain video? They want to stay Catholic. They don't want to go back to Protestantism, and they don't want to be Orthodox. So, you know, Adelaide. Oh, new nation, yes. EMU. Let's go, we got the EMUs. And the EMUs are in this general vicinity. And they will colonize and wage war. And they will win. So, you know, Australia is the only country to ever lose to their national bird in a war. You know what? Adelaide is like, we want to follow in our father's footsteps. And they become Catholic too. Let's see how Sydney reacts to that one. Oh. You know what? You stay Orthodox. Land area is exactly 2,000. Sydney. They're going to make a small expansion. They're just going to keep expanding around this little area. Perth is going to continue expanding north. And that looks like something. Sydney is going to make a large expansion. They're just going to keep encircling this one little area just for fun, really. They like having holes. Okay, I guess Adelaide's like, you know what? You didn't give us the attention we wanted. We want to go be Orthodox. You see how nothing happened there? Okay, cool, thank you. Wellington is going to make a small expansion. They're never going to get this fucking island at this rate. Sydney is going to make a large expansion. They have encircled another thing. They love circles. I guarantee you, if you find somebody from Sydney, they will say yes, they like circles. EMUs are up. They're going to make a small expansion. I guarantee you they're Flatlanders. No, they're Mountaineers, which is even better. Huh? Exactly. Sydney is going to just keep expanding north there. Adelaide will make a small expansion. They're going to start encroaching towards Sydney. Because Sydney's not taking the land, we might as well, right? You know, they're going to keep going. They're getting greedy with it. Taking over some land from Sydney as a result. But it's fine. Adelaide got a pretty decent looking empire, you know what I mean? And they don't want to fully capture that thing because they're like, mountains, we're a bit scared of them. You know what I mean? You know, maybe people from Adelaide hate mountains in real life too. Maybe I'm being lore accurate. Sydney is going to start doing what they do best, and that's called encircling something. Because they love their circles. That's for sure. Wellington will finally get the island. They have all of New Zealand, lore accurate border, and they will get just a few islands. And now they will just island hop. They get this island. They go all the way over here for some reason. Oh, that's it. Okay, cool. Adelaide will just encircle this thing. They take after their father. Adelaide will have a new leader. Wellington will just keep island hopping. They're gonna go all the way over here. They're gonna go all the way over here, and all the way over here. What's the point of even including this, really? Like, there's nothing here. I guarantee you, there is no city on this specific pixel. What's the point? This was way too much work. Like, what is that? Is that a French territory? I wouldn't be shocked if it was. Here's Mexico and all that. I can't color any of that. But, you know, I don't know why you would include it if I can't color it. Like, I can't color Russia or anything, Japan. Like, why did he include all this stuff if you can't even color on it? Anyway, we're gonna go all the way back down here. And island hop again. Oh, we get Hawaii, though. Let's go. And, yeah, they're just gonna keep island hopping until they run out of paint. And look at that, they finally ran out of paint. Adelaide will finally finish their encirclement, because they take after their father, and they will continue to touch their nope, not doing that. What are they? They're Orthodox, okay. Yeah, not doing that. Sydney, though, is the Catholic. Oh, God. Okay, we're just gonna move away here and encircle this again. Adelaide will continue building their border away from their father. Emus now. Oh my god. Emutology. We got emutology before GTA 6. Adelaide, Origin Diverge are like, you know what? Fuck you, father. We are our own thing. And yeah, I mean, that's really it. Emu's got a new leader. They got Yagan the Emu. Adelaide, new leader. Jesus Christ. Sydney is gonna mediumly expand. Damn, this video's almost over already. How long have I been filming? Only 15 minutes! Damn, I gotta slow down. Yeah, so we're just gonna do this, and you know, how has your day been, guys? Has it been good? Vent down in the comment section. You know what? Just take this moment for a moment. Don't pause the video. Scroll down to the comment section and comment anything that went well in your life or bad in your life, and vent in the comment section or brag in the comment section. All right, go on. You got your time. We gotta save a little bit here. You know. Are you guys typing? You're a slow typer. Why are you looking at the keyboard to type, bro? Come on, come on. You should have learned this in school to how to type without looking at the keyboard. Come on. We know that you should have learned this. Come on, what are you, a boomer? They do exist. They do watch my channel. Alright, that's enough time wasting. Let's continue. Sydney you know, they're just gonna keep expanding in this little tip. Weird thing to talk about after touching, but whatever. Adelaide, new leader, Jesus Christ. Emus are gonna largely expand. They're gonna go down here and find Perth, and you know what they do? They're gonna wage war against Perth. It didn't really do much, but they're waging war. Sydney's gonna keep expanding, get everything above that river, and yeah, they're a pretty big empire. Sydney will union with nobody because fuck you. Sydney, no, Adelaide, I was just expecting Sydney again. Adelaide will continue building their empire, and they will capture this entire encircled part because they're no longer like their father. They didn't want to have any tendencies left. Sydney will have a new leader. Cool. Sydney will smallly expand. And that's gonna piss me off. But we're gonna get Sydney to fix it. Yep. Oh, they're gonna adopt a religion. Cool. You don't want to be Catholic, I guess. You know what? They since you know, Protestantism is no longer Adelaide, they want to go back to be Protestants. Okay, thank you for finally moving. Wellington is going to union with themselves. Cool. Last turn, Adelaide will largely expand. They're just going to build out their border. Yeah, that's basically it. Look at that. Should I go 50 more turns? I need at least a 20-minute recording. And we only have 5 countries. 5 countries? Yeah, I'm gonna go a few more turns. Alright. The Emus will continue to wage war against Perth. Are they not conquerors? No, they're not even close. Adelaide will just continue to mediumly expand. And if you keep going west, you're gonna find Emus, and it's not gonna be good for you. Perth is gonna... Oh, the Emus already causing problems. Look at what the Emus do. And Port Hedland is about right here. And they will take as much of this northern part as they can, including the weirdly shaped object. Wellington is up there just gonna continue island hopping. What is that? Are those messed up pixels or what is that? I can't color them. Whatever. They're just gonna keep island hopping. They're having a great old time being pirates with nobody. They roleplay with themselves. Yeah, it's a good life it seems because they're doing pretty well. Emus continue to wage war against Perth. Adelaide will continue to just expand. I mean, they have a lot of flat land to do it. Port Hedland is going to union with themselves. Wellington will just continue to island hop. They finally make it to Papua New Guinea. And yeah, they're just... Oh, there's more islands up there. Shock. Port Hedland, you know what? They wage war against Perth as well. Because they're like, you can't even beat Emu, so that means that we could definitely take you to war. Wellington will take these islands I forgot were up here. This is why I hate Oceania, because how many islands they have. That it's just impossible to do really much on a map with them. Because everything's so damn small. Oh, new nation, okay. Jakarta's all the way over there. You know, fan favorite coming back. Guess who's back? It's Port Moresby. The resort dealing Port Moresby. Sydney will finally fix that stupid looking thing and continue building their border. Looking for things to encircle. Emus will continue to invade Perth. Port Hedland will continue to invade Perth. Emus will adopt a religion. No. You don't adopt a new religion when you're emus. Perth Union popped up. But, you know, Port Hedland will just attack. What a good turn, huh? Oh, Perth having more issues because these damn emu. There we go. We got Geraldton. I know I just drew that silently, but whatever. Adelaide. Should I do the thing I just thought in my head? Usually where you think things, but whatever. If you know, you know. You know what I mean? Riptology. Emus, they're gonna force Perth to unite under them. That's right. That's how strong the emus are, man. Wellington is going to continue to invade into Papua New Guinea area. Geraldton is going to wage war against Port what are you called for? What are you called again? Port what? Headland. Okay. We have a few ports. Sydney is going to continue to expand up this northern coast. And they're doing a pretty good job. They're the most annoying one, though. EMUs, they're going to wage war against yet another victim, this time being Geraldton. Adelaide will continue to expand north. Port Hedland will fight back against Geraldton, while also taking over this EMU territory, which is never going to end well for you. I mean, when you fight the EMU, you lose, you know? Adelaide will continue to expand up north. Sydney will get a new leader. Wellington will smallly expand. They're going to get these islands right here. And, you know, guess what, by the way, when they get this last island? They're a warmonger. They're pirates, so they're going to invade and start taking over Port Moresby. And matter of fact, they might kill them here. And look at that, they took away their capital area. Adelaide just gets a new leader. Imagine. Okay, Sydney also gets a new leader. Sydney adopts a religion. And matter of fact, Sydney is also a big fan, so they follow Riptology. They put aside their differences just for that, because they can agree on that. Adelaide will just continue to expand, and they really look weird, like an animal that I can't think the name of. Geraldton will continue to wage war against them, but also fight back against the emus at the same time. They're dying, though. Port Moresby will try to fight back against Wellington, but it's not going that well. Geraldton will continue to fight back against the emus, and Wellington will basically kill Port Moresby. I mean, they're basically dead. Oh, Wellington's gonna found a religion. Religion's just gonna be called Pirate. That's what they're called. Port Hedland is gonna just, you know, fight back against them here. This went from serious to, oh, here's an emu, and now we're at pirates. Port Moresby is going to continue fighting back, but it's no use. Geraldton is going to fight back against them. It's going to fight back against the emus. Speaking of the emus, we haven't seen them in a while, but we get Sydney and they're going to expand. You know what I mean? And yeah, they're doing pretty decent here. I mean, they're big. 12,000, 4,500. Yeah, that's what happens when you island hop. Port Hedland will fight back again. The emus will fight back. You irk the wrath, whatever, of the emus, and you're gonna face it. Port Moresby continues to fight back. They're somehow still here. Port Hedland will fight back against Geraldton, putting them on death's door, squish between emus and them. Port Moresby continues to fight back like a trooper. Emus, they're gonna continue invading Geraldton. They definitely have taken the capital by now. Geraldton, oh, the emus are back. Geraldton's basically dead here. Look at them, they're so tiny. Giving Monaco a run for their money. Wellington now will just union with Port Moresby under an agreement. And Port Moresby is no more. Funny, ain't it? Oh my god, Wellington's gonna want to unite with no one because it makes no sense. The emus. No! The emus got a small split. Guess who's back? But guess what? It's Emu Perth. Emu Perth is here. Look at this. Emu Perth ready to run rampant on these emus. And look at how much land they're going to get here. That's all. I don't want them to have anymore. Geraldton is going to try to fight back. Get some more land, but it's basically futile. Sydney is going to ask the union with... I don't want them to take over Adelaide, so we're just going to union with them. Port Hedland... Origin diverged. They don't want to be part of Perth anymore. The original Perth. They just want to be themselves. Sydney's gonna found a religion. Is there a wrestler from Sydney? Famous people from Sydney, Australia. Hugh Jackman. Chris Hemsworth. Margot Robbie. They said, you know what? You can have Riptology, but we are gonna have Jokertology. Because Heath Ledger's from Sydney. You know, let us look at the faith map. Everybody on the map has a faith. Look at that. We have Protestantism, a dying breed. We have Emutology. We have Riptology. We have Jokertology. And we have Pirates. Pretty decent faith map mode, if I do say so myself, which I do. The emus are up. No, not another small split. Now I have to figure out something to do here. Emu Esperance. We're gonna say that I said that right. And they're about right here. And that's all the land I'm giving them. Emu Perth is gonna invade Emu Esperance just to get rid of them, so I don't have to say that again. And look at them. Emu Perth is fighting back. Oh, and they're gonna continue fighting back against Emu Perth. Or, sorry, against emus. The emus are gonna fight back, though, against Emu Perth. And almost reconnect their territory. Oh yeah, see, they're not an expansionist, so they're gonna expand less. Look at them. They're taking over more land from Emu Perth. Oh no, not Adelaide! Guess who's here? Oh. The kangaroos! And they're gonna take this much land on the split. The kangaroos are here. Emu Perth is gonna union, and they're gonna take Geraldton under their wing. Do emus have? They definitely have wings. What a stupid fucking question. Sydney is gonna found a religion. They don't want to follow the Joker anymore, so they're gonna follow Wolverine instead. Wolvertology. Ology. Even though I definitely would follow the Joker over Wolverine, but that's just me. Port Headland is gonna Molly expand, start taking over the top of Emu Perth. Sydney is gonna have a new leader. What a waste of a fucking turn. But now they're gonna largely expand, taking over north of what's up here, and boom, take it south too. The kangaroos are gonna smallly expand, taking over more of Adelaide. But Sydney is gonna hear the call from their son. They might not be claimed by them anymore, but they still feel love for them, and they're gonna come and help them. They're gonna take over the kangaroos for them, and they're almost dead. Adelaide is gonna finish them off, though, it seems. Bang! Look at that. Father and son working together, and Sydney's just gonna let them take that back. Port Headland, no, they got a small split. They're gonna have 80 Mile Beach become independent. The emus will make a small expansion, taking over South Emu Perth, but Wellington is gonna just chill for a little bit. I mean, they got nothing going on. But the emus, they're back. They're gonna largely expand. They're taking over Emu Perth. What is this video anymore, man? How did I go from Sydney, Adelaide, Perth, Wellington to emus and kangaroos and just... How'd I go from Catholicism, Protestantism, Orthodoxy to Riptology, Jokertology, Wolvertology, Emutology? Like, what the fuck? Adelaide is back. They're just gonna keep taking over this land. Port Headland is gonna try to kill 80 Mile Beach, and they're gonna get quite a lot of land. Port Headland, no, not another new nation. What can I even do? Oh, I definitely made a mistake, but whatever. Derby's gonna be right there. I didn't want to take over previously taken land with a new nation, but whatever. 80 Mile Beach is gonna fight back, and they're gonna do so pretty successfully here. But the emus, no, not another split. Why the fuck must you keep splitting? Emu Geraldton is back. They're back, and they're here for a vengeance. Look at how much land they get, too. Port Headland is going to fight back against 80 Mile Beach. They're not doing a good job, though. The emus are going to make a small expansion on Emu Perth. Emu Perth has their origin diverge. They said, fuck you, we want to be our own thing. Wellington is just going chill. They're just chilling. They're a chill dude. Emus are back, though, with the medium expansion on Sydney Perth. The Emu Geraldton, though, they're going to turn on Emu Perth. What a betrayal. Sabotage to the highest order. They did that on purpose. No. We're not getting Riptology. Come on, that's the only place that it makes sense to have. Come on. Derby, though, is going to union. They're going to take over 80 Mile Beach with annexation on that union there to help them. And they're, oh my god, they're going to even take over Port Headland. They realize they have to combine. They see the growing threat in the south. They need to combine. They can't fight each other. And I mean, they're correct. I mean, do you not see that fucking massive threat in the bottom? I did press random, by the way. Sydney, they're gonna start expanding a little more. Emu Perth, no! What am I even gonna do here? Emu. is gonna come from the north. By God, the emus, they have a new leader. He's a conqueror! Derby is gonna largely expand, start taking over Emu Geraldton from the north. But here comes the Emutism. They're following Emutism. Adelaide is gonna just continue taking that over and then they'll go back to their expansionist ways. Derby is gonna adopt a religion. I guess they can be wolvertologists. I guess. You know what I mean? Wellington is gonna mediumly expand, taking over more of Papua New Guinea. Emu is gonna found a religion, and guess what it's called? Emu. What a great religion. Emu is back up. No, what? Jesus Christ. Emu. I feel like that one guy on Family Feud. Obu. You know, I feel like that. Emu. Derby, they're gonna make a large expansion into Emu Geraldton, damn near killing them. Emu. I swear if we would have had a fucking split. They're gonna take over Emu and start taking over Emu Geraldton. What is happening anymore in this video? We're over to turn 100. How many? We're at 36 minutes. I could end this now. No, you're staying pirates, buddy. I could end this now, but I'm too interested in the Emu storyline. Emu Perth is gonna smallly expand here. I don't know why they went up north, actually. We're just gonna quickly take a break and go to Adelaide, because I want to do that. And now emus, they're gonna largely expand. They'd kill Emu Perth, they kill Emu Geraldton, and they almost kill Emu. But the emus, they're gonna forcefully take them over. And Derby is gonna launch war. I'm going to turn 220. Sydney, they're gonna just chill for a little bit. I mean, they're not doing anything. Derby, though, is gonna ask for a union, but obviously they don't have anyone really to union with that would make sense. Emus! No. You don't leave the emus. Come on, what are we doing? You stay emutism. Wellington is just going chill. Obviously. Wellington is still gonna chill. I mean, look at this. They're gonna build resorts here, as everyone does when they come to this island. But the emus are gonna run into Derby. They're gonna storm through it. The emus are... No, stop it. What are we doing? Oh my god, it's the emus again. They're gonna mediumly expand. Look at them go into Derby. Wellington is just gonna chill, man. Take a breath and all that. But the emus... No, Jesus Christ. Emutologytism. The emus... Oh my god, they're gonna smallly expand into Derby. And then Sydney's just gonna chill. I mean, look at them go. They're chilling. And then Adelaide on the last turn is gonna have a split. And you know who comes back? The fucking kangaroos. They're back. And they're out for a vengeance. They're gonna get as much land as they can here. Alright, I can finally end this fucking brain rot. Fucking hell. Yeah, let's just take a look at the map real quick. Yeah, what a wonderful world, huh? Let's look at the origin mode real quick. Yeah, what a good map. Hey, let's look at the faith mode. Yeah, that makes sense. There's no castles. Good video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. See you guys. What the fuck am I doing anymore?